We've got some insane news that just broke today. The anti-crypto rule was in fact rejected. But before that happened, HBAR Hedera pumped. And of course, my gear is not working any way, shape, or form today. It is just an absolute hot mess, and I want to just scream. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, also set alerts, and if you've been here, you already know what to do. Now, before we get into the anti-crypto news, HBAR, and a lot of the other things that is happening, we have to cover this story. So big shout out to Crypto Gamer, because we just talked about pump.fun yesterday on TikTok and today, because people are making money there. They're doing pretty well, but apparently it got exploited. This account here posted, this account is buying tokens and filling the bonding curve to 100% within seconds. 80 million has been stolen from pump fees. The listings get stuck migrating and your soul will be frozen. So if you are using pump.fun, you probably want to not do that and do what you can do to protect yourself. And that's one of the most unfortunate things that happens in our industry, is that there are bad actors. But again, we get bad actors in every single crypto industry ever. Always. Well, every single industry, not just crypto. Sorry. We'll get back to bad actors in every single industry, and stuff like this happens. So Pump.Fun was supposed to be this fun place where you can do all these different types of cool things with meme coins, and apparently somebody exploited it, which sucks because we covered it yesterday. Then I made a TikTok talking to you guys about it, but you know, it's kind of part of the game, especially when it comes to meme coins. And a friendly reminder, most meme coins will in fact go to zero, and some of them you will get lucky with, which we'll talk about a couple different people that made crazy money with GME and with PEPE. But again, a lot of this is not applicable to most people. Most of us don't do this well. We just keep grinding and grinding and grinding. It just sucks. It is what it is. But I just want to give you guys a quick heads up. Shout out to Gamer. Make sure you guys share this video. Now let's get into what happened with the Senate. This is important. This impacts crypto. Okay. So let's go ahead and get straight into it over here. And again, I am sorry. I am an absolute hot mess today, but the U.S. Senate voted to repeal Gary Gensler's anti-crypto rule, SAB 121. This is a big deal. However, I will remind you, this is grifting season. This is election season. So you do have to be cautious. A lot of these people are voting a particular way to help push them out, help them get votes, help them be more likable. Then they come back in and they do terrible things. We see this happen with Elizabeth Warren all of the time, because earlier today and maybe late last night, apparently she has been reportedly involved in a campaign to shield FDIC chair Martin Gunberg from allegations of presiding over a toxic workplace. We say a toxic workplace. There's particular things that are included in that, which we will not discuss on the show because I'm not going to get banned. But the fact that this person claimed that she was for women, claimed that she was for the little guy, etc., and is clearly not, that can be problematic. Okay. And again, I don't know why my camera is not working. I'm just not having a good week, any way, shape, or form. So it is what it is. We're doing what we can do today. I don't know what the hell is going on. This is freaking crazy. But we're going to go ahead and get back into everything that is happening with SAB, because you guys probably will not be able to see me much today. Anyways, so today the Senate voted to pass the joint resolution to repeal SEC SAB 121. It will now go to Biden, and he already threatened to veto, which means reject it. He wants to veto or reject the repeal. If it gets fully passed, SAB 121 will be overturned and highly regulated financial firms will be able to hold Bitcoin and crypto without having it on their balance sheet. I'm going to go back to this and explain why this is important. If it gets fully passed, SAB 121 will be I'm going to read this again. If it gets fully passed, SAB 121 will be overturned and highly regulated financial firms will be able to hold Bitcoin and crypto without having it on their balance sheets. Last week, the resolution to overturn the rule passed in the House with bipartisan support. Eleanor said from Fox, she said the consensus is that the Senate would follow the House and overturn. And the definition of SAB 121 and why it matters. Okay. And I know I'm a hot mess this morning. I've had an awful week. Very, very bad. Anyways, it doesn't matter. No one cares. You got to get back up and pull yourself up. So the SAB 121 is an SEC crypto rule that requires financial institutions that are safeguarding customers' crypto assets to hold those assets on their balance sheet. It means that banks are required to take on extra capital, liquidity, and other costs. It makes it unaffordable for banks to custody crypto assets, and it harms consumers and makes them less protected. It limits options for consumers, and it could leave user assets vulnerable if there is a bank failure. Guess what? When we talk about FDIC insurance does not have enough to cover everyone. Okay. And there's a lot of people that'll be like, well, Wendy, it doesn't matter because I don't have $250,000 in the bank. Guess what? It doesn't matter if you do or not. Okay. The people that have $250,000 plus in the bank, those are businesses, probably small businesses, maybe. I don't know. But that impacts them, and then you're not going to have a job later. In addition to that, if every single bank went down in America, we had a nationwide bank failure, guess what would happen? You're lucky if you get anything back because they're going to protect the big boys first. And that's just really, really how it works. It is unfortunate, but that is how it works. And my camera might be done for today because I just unplugged something. Anyways, we'll go to this page over here and just get rid of the camera altogether because it is not working. Okay, now let's go ahead and get back into why this is bad for the banks. Well, the reason why this is bad for not really the banks, but for consumers is because if we want to be able to for crypto to kind of get pushed forward and it's going to increase the cost for banks, that is going to increase the cost for us. Personally, I don't care about the Bitcoin spot ETFs. I don't care about them any way, shape, or form. Does it help with adoption? Kind of, sort of. But at the end of the day, that's not why Bitcoin was created. But again, I don't mind. I don't mind any way, shape, or form. Like, fine by me. But again, anytime we introduce these predatory laws that come into play, it just gets worse. It continues to get worse. The more laws and the more regulation we have, it's problematic. It causes problems. And we do not want that to happen. We don't want it to happen because it's not good to advance the industry. It's just not. Now, taking a look at what's happening with the crypto market, this is going to be the daily over here. On the daily, we can see that I have no idea what NOT is. I have no idea what it is, but shout out to people who are made money on this before it dropped. But Core is up 13% and Safe is up 11.2%. Now, when we do take a look at Bitcoin, we got a beautiful breakout yesterday. And let's see if she's sustained. And you know what? I might have been a little bit over bullish. I might have, but you know what? That's okay. Because you guys call me Wendy Bear. You guys tell me I'm not bullish enough. So guess what? I'm going to start being a Bitcoin bull. So we were able to actually close above $66,000, or excuse me, at $66,300, which is absolutely fantastic. But we're getting a little bit of retracement. Even if we get back down to 64,000, I'm completely fine with it because guess what? You can just draw another trend line. No, you shouldn't be doing that, but we do it for theatrics on the show because it's funny. So taking a look at the 4 hour, it looks like we are going to retap at about 64.3. And if we do break down, maybe at about 62.6. Also, if you're interested, you can use my ref links. We're currently partnered with CoinCatch and Femex. If you use a ref link, not your keys, not your coins, and you need to read the terms of services and stop leaving crypto places, is what it is. Now, with that being said, we're getting a bit of a pullback here. But when we do zoom out onto the weekly, it's still a good candle. It's still a pretty good sign. However, if we do in fact drop here to about 62.6, that might not be that great because it is showing a little bit of weakness. But again, if we can just get more consolidation in this range between 64.3 and about 62.6, that is cool with me. I do think that we will eventually go up only soon, but it's going to take some time. Things like this, we cannot be impatient with, okay? It takes time. Now, when we talk about the SEC a little bit more over here. And yes, we're going to get into Hedera, but I do want to cover a couple extra things here for you because it's important. It's important to kind of understand everything that is happening here. Yeah, my camera is still not working. This is not a good day. Anyways. With that being said, is that the SEC custody rule made crypto regulation a political football, which this is the thing, you guys. The thing that's problematic to me about this is that it's always been a game. It's not new. And when they're saying, when they're basically saying that crypto is doing this, they are gaslighting you. because it's not a crypto thing. They use women's health as the football, as the game. They use taxes. They use money. They use education. They use people that are, coming from different countries to live in America. They use all different types of things to play games. They do. That's exactly what they do. So by them saying this is just gaslighting us, making us think that we're stupid. And it was Representative Wiley, and he says he criticized the SEC for politicizing crypto regulation and showing open hostility towards the industry. I get what he's saying, and I appreciate it, but again, it's a game to him as well. It is. He opposed the SEC's SAB 121, and he argues that it prevents American banks from effectively custodying crypto exchange traded products, leading to concentration risk, and believes the SEC's approach doesn't serve Biden's interest and urges Gensler to withdraw SAB 121. And this election, it's not just going to be a crypto issue, but there's a lot of other issues, including Title IX, that people are pissed off about. It is what it is. And it's just very, very, very unfortunate that we're seeing a lot of this play out. But again, the SEC and the public servants, they play football with everything. And then our next story about Miss Cynthia Loomis. She came out and she said she calls for the Senate approval on bill allowing highly regulated financial firms to hold Bitcoin and crypto. Let's go ahead and listen to this together. I think we can listen to it together. Let's see.
Chairman Gensler would rather politicize accounting standards to achieve policy goals in the banking industry, an industry I'd like to remind him he does not regulate, rather than conduct a transparent policy-making process. Maybe it's because Chairman Gensler knows that putting customer assets on the balance sheet is bad policy that would garner enough support to finalize a rule, or rather would not garner enough support to finalize a rule. Maybe it's because he's committed to an ill-informed and unworkable fight against the digital asset industry at any cost. Unfortunately, SAB 121 does nothing to protect consumers, nothing to protect.
And I think that's the key word there. Gary Gensler is not supposed to regulate the banks. They have other industries, not other industries, but they have other legislative bodies that are supposed to do that. And the fact that Gary Gensler has been on an absolute rampage, attacking crypto, attacking the good actors is problematic. It's extremely problematic, and you should be a little bit concerned. You should. Because every time he comes out and says something, he says it's to protect consumers, it's to protect consumers, it's to protect consumers. But is it really? Is it really? Do you think it really is? And I just don't I understand they have to do the whole song and dance and play the political football and this and that, yourmom.com. But when is enough enough? When is enough to actually remove these people from office? Because all they're doing is they're playing games with our money. But it's okay because they could just print more money. And again, that's why we Bitcoin. And that's why I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than any other asset. Because as of right now, it is still decentralized. But it's a joke. I feel insulted. I feel absolutely insulted by these people. It's horrible. Now, this is the big HBAR story, Hedera story, and we are going to shout it out because I like HBAR. I like their community. I think they're absolutely fantastic. And I'm always happy to cover. You guys, I'm happy to cover any project on the show when there's big news. Any project. And if, let's say, for example, there's big news that comes out and I don't cover it, I'm happy to have you send it to me and we can take a look at it and see if it makes sense. We do it with Cardano. We do it with Solana. We do it for HBAR, XRP, any of these big projects. Happy to do it, even some of the smaller projects. So let's get into it and let's shout them out. And big shout out to their community, because I know this feels good. It feels good when good things happen to a project that you are excited about. So a company that uses Hedera's technology has entered into an agreement with Visa. And Visa is a big deal. Very, very big deal. The SQUIDGROW digital payments platform is built on Hedera's distributed ledger technology to track the issuance and redemption of payments. It enables seamless virtual payments to consumers anytime, anywhere. The agreement enables Visa clients to engage directly with SQUIDGROW, and it also aims to accelerate digital transformation for select merchants and consumer packaged goods companies leveraging SQUIDGROW payment-based offer solutions. And you know what? This is awesome. One of the big use cases for Bitcoin was the immutable transactions. And that basically means once you make a transaction, there's no one that you can actually call to fix that for you if there was a scam or you didn't get the right thing. But the cool thing about this is that it's actually solving a problem. And part of the problem is that when we talk about credit cards like American Express or Visa or MasterCard, there's a lot of transactions that occur, a lot. I forget what the exact amount is, but there's an insane amount of transactions. And the crazy thing about it is there's so much fraud that takes place. So I do think, and if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm understanding this correctly, I've read it a couple times, but I do think that this is going to help with the payment system and protect against fraud and actually do a good thing. So big shout out to Hedera and big shout out to Visa. Because payment solutions are a problem. They really, really, really are. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Hedera and see if we saw any beautiful price movement. If we didn't, I wouldn't be too worried. And the reason being, it's just the type of market we are in. And on the weekly, nothing too exciting. Taking a look at the daily actually is in the red. It looks like we kind of broke. This was an old chart that we used. And we broke out, we retraced, went back down, and we're trying to break out essentially again, and we're having a little bit of trouble. But you know what? I'm fine with that. And I will tell you why I'm fine with it. Because I don't think the real part of the bull run has started yet. So if you feel like you've missed out, now is your chance. Now is your chance. When we take a look at Hedera long term, really at the weekly, and just kind of see what happened, anything below 9 cents is very exciting to me. Even at this range here, it could be very exciting. Just depends how much conviction you have. So again, shout out to HBAR. Now I want to touch on this, the Bitcoin ETF inflows. They top 303 million, buoyed by Fidelity and GBTC. So they hit a 2-week high, and this was as the price of Bitcoin surged to $66,000. And honestly, I can't wait for the Bitcoin spot ETFs to continue to mature so we can really kind of see and analyze what's happening with the markets, because right now this is so new. It's not even a year old yet. And the data shows that inflows into all ETFs except IBIT, which recorded 0 inflows or outflows for the 3rd consecutive day. And basically money is coming in. And Grayscale also saw their first inflows in a week at 27 million. So this is good. This means that more people are buying again when we see an outflow bearish, inflow bullish, from what I can understand. Because again, I'm just a dodo on the internet. Now, I want to just kind of talk about this really, really quickly. There's these next 2 stories. So this is from Mr. Eric, but Millennium Management discloses $2 billion spot ETF and portfolio. They hold shares in 5 different funds as of Q1 2024. ARK, Bitwise, Grayscale, iShares, Fidelity. And the largest allocation is IBIT's Millennial with $844 million. Over 600 firms reveal billions in combined investments in Bitcoin ETFs. Millennium is the largest one with 1.9 billion. Now, the total of all these firms together is 3.5 billion. Now let's talk about it. What does this mean? 2 things. Number 1, there is a massive interest for Bitcoin. And I've always had this thought that Bitcoin's price volatility will essentially level out at like around $1 million, something like that. It's just something that I kind of thought. And again, that could be absolutely crazy. Don't care. But eventually, once price is so high for something, there's got to be a lot less volatility to it, right? I don't know. Maybe. This is just a thought I had as an idiot on the internet. But with that being said, is what happens if we get so much, we get so many inflows and price just ends up one day, maybe in 20, 30, 50 years, I don't know, hitting $1 million. And then we just kind of are almost like a stable coin. We don't really fluctuate too much because let's face it, Bitcoin at $1 million could price really fluctuate that much? The volatility would be a lot less, in my personal opinion. And with that being said, pump our bags. Pump our bags. Back in 2018, 2019, there was a thought process. There was an idea that was floating around crypto Twitter. No, I'm being serious. I don't know. It could be. I could be completely wrong. But there's a thought process that all you needed was to have one Bitcoin per family member and give it to them for the rest of their lives and they'd be able to be okay. And maybe that coincides with the idea of Bitcoin to $1 million. Don't know. Also, with this being said, we talked about it yesterday. The fact that we can use blockchain technology, to absolutely track these things 24/7, 365 and have access to who is buying what is outstanding. And that's what's so great about Bitcoin. That's why we talked about the pump.fun exploit, because it's on chain, you can see it. But what I'm saying here is the fact that we don't get to know who is buying what until the end of a quarter is insane. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like we have to, and it's so crazy because we're talking about almost $2 billion. Almost $2 billion. And we don't know that this Bitcoin is being bought because legally they don't have to disclose to us until the end of the quarter. That is insane. So really, even though we're getting these reports at X, Y, and Z, the inflows, yourmom.com, with like the grayscale and the iBit and all that stuff, we don't know who's buying it because we can't track their wallets. You see what I mean here? You see how that's a little bit problematic? But again, they will never allow us to track the wallets of these big guys. Never, never, never. HBAR had a massive partnership with Visa. So I just want to think about that for a bit. All right. Now, GME Group plans spot Bitcoin trading amid rising Wall Street demand. If this happens, the market is going to go absolutely stupid. It is going to go insane. Okay. So the CME Group wants to introduce Bitcoin spot trading. The plan is not finalized, though. And the spot Bitcoin trading involves immediate exchange at current market prices. And they want to provide another avenue for Wall Street investors to access crypto, which to me, this is stupid. It's ridiculous because why would you can just trade Bitcoin on Coinbase. Why do you need the Bitcoin spot ETF? But again, they want to take out loans and leverage and collateral and do all these crazy things. That's what they want to do. When you can really do that on your own as it is, because that's what we got leverage. Anyways, a history in digital asset market launching Bitcoin futures in 2017 and micro Bitcoin futures in 2021. This will probably get approved. In some aspect, this will probably get approved. And then I think the market will go even more insane. But again, I don't know how we'll be able to track that. I don't know how the law is going to be set up that way. And then remember yesterday when we talked about a brand new CEO coming into Vanguard? Well, apparently the incoming CEO will not reverse the decision to launch a Bitcoin ETF. The former BlackRock executive didn't address the issue of giving Vanguard clients access to any of the other spot Bitcoin ETFs that are available. Vanguard has always been very strict about it, but guess what? I don't believe it. This guy worked at BlackRock. He helped get the Bitcoin spot in. Why wouldn't he do it over at Vanguard? These people care about the bottom line. So you know what? This story is not relevant to me because mark my words, Vanguard will have a Bitcoin spot ETF. It will. Mark my words, baby. Mark my words. Thank you so much for the 48-cent super chat, Rich. I appreciate it. And shout out to the 328 concurrent viewers. We should have more likes. We should have at least 200. At least 200. And I got to give a big, big shout out to all of the members, to Mike, to Alexander, to Mr. R, to Mr. Mo, and to everybody else if I missed anyone. All right, let's get back into it, baby. So this dude here, he is the Federal Reserve's person. And basically, he's comparing Bitcoin to Beanie Babies. I feel like this is an old video. But Bitcoin is not inflation hedge. It is. It is. It's another speculative asset like a meme stock. Cool. Maybe this is new. I don't know. It just, these guys, they just recycle the same thing over and over again. He's out of his mind. He doesn't understand, and that's okay. All he's doing is just trying to protect his job. That's all that he's doing. Is what it is. So pay these people no mind. Now let's talk about Ethereum Layer 2 network Blast. And I wish I wouldn't have been so skeptical on Blast. You know what? I've made a decision. I'm just going to start degenning on all this new stuff. And if I get wrecked, I get wrecked. But I gotta have more risk out there. So Ethereum Layer 2 Blast reveals airdrop details. And again, we talk about playing within different ecosystems because you could make money. So their token airdrop is set for June 26th. And if you didn't know what Blast was, it's an Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution network. And I don't know how many Layer 2s we have, but I've been hearing about Layer 5s and Layer 3s. So that will be interesting. But apparently they're going to hold 2 more distributions of Blast gold points, essentially function like an airdrop for dApp creators building the network. So you might want to check to see if you qualify. And it's for Fantasy Top. Fantasy Top is another thing that is super, super big. I highly recommend you guys check it out. A lot of people are printing on it. And then half of the airdrop will be allocated to devs, which is good. Devs deserve it. They're doing all the hard work. The other half will go to early users, including those who bridge funds to the network before the Blast mainnet went live, which that's why I was skeptical about it, because they basically locked your funds and no one knew when it was going to launch. So that's why I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. It seems a little bit scary. But hey, users bridged over 2.3 billion worth of crypto in anticipation of earnings points for the airdrop. So check and see if you qualify. All right, I want to talk about this. Two things, babies, I got to talk to you about. So these stories here, they're very rare. If you get this lucky, this is not skill, this is luck. A GME whale turns $908,000 into $44 million. First off, I don't have that much money. Second off, congratulations to you. But just because this guy did it doesn't mean you will do it. And I do not want to discourage you. I just want to bring a little bit of reality to you. It's important. Same with this guy. Crypto trader turns 3,000 into 46 million in 1 month as Pepe price soars. And I'm joking around with Shibtoshi from SQUIDGROW because he was the Shiba Inu billionaire that we had talked about on TikTok and on the show. He was a man, I believe he turned 36 ETH into $1 billion in Shiba Inu. Crazy, right? It is doable. But I don't have 36 ETH to be popping into stuff. But the $3,000 to 46 million is amazing. And he's up over just 1 month. But remember, this is not you. This is not for you. Do not mortgage your house and dump all your money into meme coins. Do not mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin. Do what works for you and practice risk management. But apparently he bought 4.9 trillion Pepe for 3,000 on April 15th. I'm going to write this down because I want to chart it. So on April 15th, 415. The investment is now valued at over 56 million. He sold 1.4 trillion for 7.4 million and still has 3.5 trillion Pepe worth 38.9 million. And the reason why he didn't sell all of it is because there's probably not enough liquidity and will drop the chart like crazy. So I appreciate him for not doing that. But at the same time, that is freaking crazy, dude. It is crazy. Now let's go ahead and take a look at PEPE because that's what I'm going to be calling on the show. PEPE. So this is going to be the Binance chart. So he says April 15th. Where is it? March, April? Oh, he bought on this. Oh, okay. That's what he did. Okay, this makes sense. Let's go to the daily and see when he did. I just want to double check the dates here and make sure. On April 15th. So he bought the bottom, close to the bottom. So basically, he bought here and he is up. He's up 126%. I would have to dig into this a little bit more, but good for him. Good for him. So, you know what? Next time Pepe dumps, I'm buying some. Don't care. Absolutely don't care. Buying it. I'm going to be more degen. I might not tell you guys every single time I get into this type of crap. I don't have Hedera right now anymore. I am just, I'm shouting out the community. I'm going to be more degen gamer. I had a rough like while, dude. Shout out to Mr. Bonehead. But I've been having a rough year, so I just haven't been as degen as much. I'm like in my feminine era, but that's okay. All right. We talked about that. And again, shout out to these traders that are printing, but this is not for you. Do not put more than you can afford to lose. Now, this is a crazy story. The DOJ charges 2 brothers tied to 25 million attack on MEV bots last year. So basically, they indicted these 2 guys for attacking Ethereum bots, and the charges were wire fraud and money laundering. And they apparently attempted to fraudulently obtain 25 million in crypto within 12 seconds. Exploited targeted bots seek profit by front-running transactions. So this is why I tell you guys on the dexes to be so careful, because there's people with bots and there's people that have more capital than you, more resources and more money. They're going to front-run you and wreck you. So just always understand that there's somebody always on the other side of that trade that is better than you. And it might sound harsh, but I don't really think it is, because I feel like that's keeping it real. Even though this can be known as illegal, people are still going to do it. But basically, they manipulated transaction validation process to alter private transactions. They wanted to conceal identities through shell companies and private crypto addresses. And the stolen crypto laundered to conceal source and ownership, research KYC procedures and extraditions to process to evade detection. Don't do anything illegal. And again, I'm going to be a Debbie Downer, and I hate it. Pay your crypto taxes. Don't do crap like this. Just disclose, be honest. Just be honest, because they're going to come after the big dogs that are doing this type of crap. So be careful, and always know that there's people with bots that are going to outtrade you. And this story is freaking crazy. Sam Trabocco from FTX finally broke his silence, and he submitted a character reference letter for Ryan Salami, who has been sentenced, hearing scheduled for May 28th. This is the whole FTX thing, because I want to go through this really quickly for you. But basically, a character reference letter is basically indicating that, hey, this is a good person and why I think this is a good person. But if you remember, Sam Trabocco was, I believe, the CEO of Alameda, which was a sister company of FTX, and they were doing a bunch of illegal things together. He resigned in August before the FTX went down. Caroline was put in charge. I believe that's the correct timeline. And then she's the one that got in trouble. He wasn't the one that got in trouble. So that's crazy. And he was he was working with the feds for sure, because he was never in any of the FTX things, which is insane. So, yeah, he was a co-CEO of Alameda. He stepped down in August 2022. I was right. He made 25 million during the FTX fraud, and I wonder if he paid any back. But it's crazy. He finally reemerged, and that was one of the biggest questions that we had. We were like, where's Sam? Where is Sam Trabocco? Because he was doing a lot of illegal stuff. So he was either a plant or a Fed. Very interesting. And I can't wait to know the truth about this, but we'll never know the truth about us because they don't share it with us. So anyways, you guys, that was the news for today. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I'm a hot mess. You guys know that. That's why you watch me. Again, the 2 key things to take away here are the U.S. Senate votes to repeal Gary Gensler's anti-crypto rule, SAB 121. The reason why that's important is because it requires financial institutions that are safeguarding customers' crypto assets to hold those assets on their balance sheet. So this is good. However, Biden says that he wants to veto it. And then the second one is for Hedera Visa. The SQUIGROW digital payments platform is built on Hedera's distributed ledger technology to track the assurance and redemption of payments. This is massive. This is going to help with fraud. This is going to help track. This is going to help merchants. It's going to help all different types of aspects. This is bullish, and this is what is adoption. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye. Is Coin Vote? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of that one.